Hey everybody, good morning and welcome to Williston, North Dakota. What a beautiful spring day. Well, not so much. It's been raining all night, winds blowing 40 to 50 miles an hour out here. We're here in Williston to highlight the Williston Volunteer Fire Department and all they do for the community of Williston out here in western North Dakota. You know, this is the home of the Bakken oil field. It's also the home of Lake Sakakawea and a lot of the Missouri River. And we are here because they run a great big fishing tournament every spring and they guaranteed us good weather. Well, maybe not so much. So we're gonna make the best of it. Beautiful fire department here. Looking forward to meeting all of the firefighters in the area here and all they do for the community of Williston. So stay tuned.
American Heroes Outdoors shares the stories of our nation's true heroes, a documentation of journey, commitment, struggle, and healing. A glimpse into the sacrifice and bravery of our service men and women. This is American Heroes Outdoors.
Williston, North Dakota is a unique area in North Dakota. Around the community is so generous and giving, and it's just a beautiful place to live. So Williston Rural Fire Department, we have about 25 to 28 members at any given time. We cover everything outside the city of Williston limits, over 900 square miles, going from the Montana border up north, east, and south. It's a big area that we cover. We make sure it's protected.
Williston is a boomtown USA oil field town. When I moved here 20 years ago, it was probably a town of 10 or 12,000. Now it's a town of 30 plus thousand. Mostly grassland, wildland firing. We have the occasional house fire, a lot of crash rescue. Somebody's got to do it. That's kind of the way I looked at it when I joined. They approached me to get on, and I think it's important to be a good community member, and our firemen are good community guys. I
saw the camaraderie that these members of the service had, and I just wanted it. I wanted to be part of it. I don't ever want to quit. I just love it. It's in my blood now. You talk about commitment for the volunteers and for the full-time service. I look at the commitment my wife makes to allow me to be on the department.
We have 200 plus calls a year, almost every year right now. Everybody carries a pager all day long. If you can leave work when it goes, you leave work, and you might be gone all day, you might be gone for 2 days. It just depends on where you're going. It's a big commitment for the wives and the families and your employers and everybody involved with it. It really is. Both training and, when the pager goes off. There's always that chance that somebody's gonna get hurt. And, fortunately it doesn't happen very often. We do a lot of good training. Our firefighters here are pretty well trained, and we don't ever put ourselves in a position where we're risking, you risk a lot to save a lot, and if there's not a lot to save, you don't put yourself at risk either, right? So. Five or 6 years ago, Jason and I were discussing ways to raise money for the fire department, and him and I both fish a lot. Fish tournaments together a lot, and we came up with the idea and kind of put things together and got some sponsors, and it's been a hit every year.
Well, the walleye fishing out here is incredible, and I've grown up out there, so for me it's kind of the norm of using the lake and the river system here. Better than the standard practice of a raffle or setting tickets on a counter somewhere, getting involved.
A couple of years ago, we bought a new extrication truck or a new rescue truck. There's probably $100,000+ worth of tools on it, Jaws of Life and just other tools. And we used a lot of our money from the tournament over the few years to outfit that truck.
This is a great opportunity that we have every year to have a fundraiser, to take that money and put it into proper equipment for this department. The satisfaction, if I could describe that to any young individual that was even looking at becoming a volunteer, the satisfaction of helping other people out and having that brotherhood, that camaraderie that you can actually have with the fire in the fire service you can't compare it to anything. You just can't compare it.
You know, I think there's always a great need for volunteers, and there's no better feeling than having somebody come up to you afterwards and give you a hug or thank you for doing what you did. I think that's one of the greatest parts about this deal is you save somebody's house or rescue somebody's kid from a car wreck or something, and that mom or dad or family member comes and gives you a hug and thanks you. That's important stuff.
American Heroes Outdoors is brought to you by SCHEELS, the Disabled American Veterans, Smoky Hills Outdoor Store, Skeeter Boats, and Yamaha Outboards, Woodland Resort, Ottertail Lakes Country, Ice Castle Fish Houses, and S&S Promotional Group.
Hey everybody, we're in Williston, shooting some B-roll, and you always learn interesting things about the community. And obviously out here in Western North Dakota, they're very patriotic, as all of our Midwestern communities are. But behind me is kind of a unique thing that we found at their Veterans Memorial here in Williston, and that is a monument that was put up for all of those veterans that have served in conflicts from 1975 for the future into the 21st and 22nd century. So behind me, you'll see this giant mural, steel plaques with small little medallions in them. Those medallions represent battle areas that military personnel have served from the Williston area, and they will be there for now and forever. And those conflicts, if there are any more conflicts in the future, will always be memorialized on this wall in Williston. Very unique, one of the first ones I've seen like this, and very well thought out of, and what a way to honor those vets that have served. You know, hopefully it says right on the plaque here, hopefully they won't have to put any more medallions back on. And we hope that as well. But it certainly is indicative of a community that's proud of its veterans. Good morning from another beautiful day. Wind's blowing, been raining. Boat's so muddy can't even see the American Heroes on this morning, but we're going fishing. As you can tell, the derby's on here for the Williston Fire Department, and we are headed to the water. So it's going to be an interesting day. We have not been on the water since we've been here, since the weather's been so bad. So we are fishing blind. We're going to take our time and just kind of have fun today. And we're doing this for the fire department here in Williston and their fundraiser. That's why we're here, and that's what this story's all about. So we'll try to catch a couple fish today, but we'll see what goes on. Woo. We did. We made it across the river. There was some big waves. That's first time running this boat, brand new, and I don't know, 4-footer solid for sure. A couple of bigger than that when we come across. We troughed the waves coming across the river. We're on the south side of the river channel. We're trolling crankbaits, just getting set up right now, and seeing some fish on the screen on side imaging coming in. Really dirty water. I mean, the wind's been blowing out here at the Missouri River, so a lot of boats just setting up. It was tough coming across. It's dicey. So I think we'll stay over here and troll for a while. We're going to see if we can't pick up some walleyes, and we'll stay updated.
Types of events, they're really something to me. These people live in everybody's communities, and it's good to meet, these people rather than just seeing the insignia on the back of their truck. There's the real life stories, and and personalities behind all of that, it's, you know, I don't even know what to say after I hear some of these stories. It's amazing to me.
Hit mark, still on. Whitey? Yeah, that's what it is. It's whitey.
Planes fly from one side of the boat.
Not the right species. But now we know that the crankbaits are running in the right spots. There you go. There you go. Oh, Whitey.
So we can get them all.
We're sharing more stories on our social media pages, SCHEELS Hometown Heroes, Sunday Service Spotlight, and more. Help us share more stories of our servicemen and women.
Well, I believe that's the right sign.
See it?
Alright.
Yeah, that's the right kind.
Yeah, it's the right kind. Coming this way. I want to dip on top. All right! We caught one! Well, we found one. It took us all day long. We caught every species, but by golly, we found one. And it's a nice one at that. Get her in the box here. Man, it was brutal. We just came through a heck of a rainstorm and 3 and 4 foot waves coming back to get back to the boat dock, but we're here, we're safe. We got a nice walleye, probably about a 20-incher, but that was the only walleye bite we had. We caught every species of fish in this darn river. We got smallmouth, we've got white bass, we got golden eyes, and we got a pike. And so, but we did finally scratch out one walleye for not free fishing, and for the great cause what this is, doing this for the firefighters and raising money for the fire department here. There couldn't be anything better.
Try to get the community involved and come out to some of the weigh-ins and stuff as much as we can, and we also try to bring to the outdoor world, which is important to us, a catch and release tournament around here, because a lot of the tournaments that we see are catch and kill, and it's important for us, and it shows guys a different level around here, I guess, of taking care of the fish and the resource we have in the Williston area.
Good for me. What team are you? 127. Surprising how many fish are caught, actually, considering the weather today and the wind, but It's good. Big fish so far, it's 9.92 pounds. And the current leader, I think, has 1546, maybe 15 and change.
When you're solely volunteer like we are, a lot of this goes back to gear. The new technologies out there are just extremely expensive. I mean, everybody out there knows that. And we use this the right way. And it's decided as a group amongst our guys. It always goes to good use, and it's fun to set a goal and keep getting the guys together to raise the money, I guess.
Few nice fish caught, all you can ask for. I mean, guys, tournament fishermen, they did their job for sure, you know.
Exactly.
We've seen a broken windshield and lots of broken equipment today, so.
Well, I can tell you we have none. We have no broken equipment.
That's awesome.
So that's good. We took care of them.
Got the boat broke in right.
Got the boat broke in. Yeah, we lost some screws, but
yeah,
we can put them back in. So
sure
again, Jason, thank you for everything that the Williston Fire Department does and that you guys do.
Right on.
Appreciate everything.
Appreciate you coming up. It was awesome.
Oh, we'll be back.
Yeah,
we
welcome.
promise.
Come anytime. It's awesome.
Interested in supporting our mission at American Heroes Outdoors? Go to AmericanHeroesOutdoors.com to nominate your very own hero or drop a donation to support our nation's true heroes.
Welcome back to the show.
And now it's time for our next SCHEELS Hometown Hero, Jim Moe.
And going out there thinking I'm just doing another volunteer service as an honor guard, and be recognized for it kind of caught me off guard. Really off guard.
Welcome to SCHEELS Hometown Heroes.
SCHEELS Hometown Heroes is a way for us to say thanks to those that serve our country and our community.
And are still giving back to others today.
We honor your service by sharing your stories.
From all of us at SCHEELS, thank you for your service.
We have hundreds of nominations for SCHEELS Hometown Hero Awards across the United States. And we have the honor to go deliver these awards and recognize people that stand out in their communities, that have served and that are still giving back. So I'd like Jim Moe, if he's in the crowd today, to come up here. These are usually a surprise, so.
Yep, I was born and raised here in Devil's Lake. Yes, I grew up through the years and yeah, established myself and never left. Never had a desire to leave. I seem to like everything I got. I've got a great group of friends and relatives here, and no, I like it here, and now I'm here to stay.
Well, then of course, he was in the Guards and I was in the Guards, and so we served in the Guards together, and he's just like the rest of us, I guess. You know, when you sign that piece of paper saying you're going to join the military, you're signing a blank check to do whatever they want you to do, and I think that was probably the main reason Jim joined also. That's why I joined.
Well, when I'm growing up, my father was in the military, and he was a Korean vet. And so he'd in the military, and it was just something that halfway through my senior year, I enlisted in the National Guard, and as soon as we graduated, we went off to our basic training and our AIT, and then I started the whole beginning, and I grew through the ranks. I made first sergeant. I was in charge of the maintenance company for about 3 years, and about that time I had an opportunity to apply for the fire chief's position. That was going on during my deployment, and so I was, they kind of held the position until my deployment was open, and then I came back and applied for the job.
When we come back, of course, the fire chief's job opened up here. And Jim got the fire chief's job right away when we got back, and that was in 2004. So he was a fire chief from 2004 until he retired last year.
The first times I ever met Jim is I was a volunteer fireman at the time, and Jim at the time was on active duty with the National Guard, but he happened to be back that weekend in Devil's Lake, and we got paged out to an apartment fire. And I showed up as a volunteer fireman, never met Jim, and I found out he was the guy in charge on scene. And one of the guys I reported to, he goes, go see that guy, Jim, and to get orders from him. I look at the guy that told me that, I go, why would I want to go take orders from someone I never met before? And I had no idea he was a volunteer fireman. And a couple years later, he's the chief. Then a few years later after that, he's my boss.
You know, as a kid growing up, I was scared to go to the fire station. But when I moved in there, it was a matter of survival. I had no place to go. I needed to pay. I had no money. And so I was stuck. And after that fire and things settled down and we went through all the stuff we went through, and 9 people passed, die in, where 4 of them were kids. And that really took its toll on our department. But tough business. So I've seen more of the ugly side of things on the fire side than I did on the military side. I went to the chief and I said, boy, Bill, if this is firefighting, I don't want to do it. I'm, just like, I wasn't prepared for it. Anyway, he was a great talker and he was a motivator and he kept me going. So I got off to a real rough start my first year as a firefighter, but I hung in there and just worked my way through it all. And
well, the community's always been behind Jim. Jim really left a good impression on the city of Devils Lake when he retired.
We're a family here at the fire department or the military. I was not in a combat situation. I can't speak for that. But knowing what we go through in a fire situation when pressure's on, somewhat similar to that, you put everything you got into it and you make sure nobody gets hurt. That was my job as a first sergeant in the military or as a fire chief on the department.
Man, that wind looked tough.
Those were some of the most wicked conditions that I've ever been in. And I got to tell you, at one time we had the cameraman thinking that he wanted to go back to shore because we made some dashes across the river, and those great anglers out there that stuck that out and support that program, God love them, because that was some tough conditions, folks. But it was quite an experience, and I can't wait to go back out there because we all know that piece of Lake Sakakawea has got some tremendous fishing. But stay tuned next week because we're going to switch gears and we're going to head down to the Spirit Lake, Okoboji area and spend some time with the Iowa Great Lakes Fishing Club. And those guys down there are doing a great job with veterans in the Iowa Great Lakes area.